some of those areas around worker requirements need to start now, particularly on SNAP, November 1st, but then next year when Medicaid, to have these kind of exemptions that we can implement, both state and the state. And let's be honest, it's really chaotic when people apply, right? And when people do the eligibility, and when we're gonna have to figure out streamlines. I don't think we remember, or we try to remember, when 9/11 happened in New York, we created a streamlined effort for Medicaid, food stamps, created a one-stop shop application. We have been through crises when it comes to veterans and eligibility, but we're beginning to use those same solutions we've done in other crises to apply it to this crisis now. And I think we have those opportunities to do so.
When will we start doing that? Now, right?
We need, and on SNAP alone is November 1st, right? We're gonna need to figure out and have clarity around that. People are gonna be lost in the system. Food pantries don't even have their stocks, right? We know already. What we need to start doing as organizers is all that mutual aid work we did during COVID, that's still something happening, we're gonna have to put that on steroids. We're gonna do advocacy, organizing, and mutual aid. We're gonna have to figure out on the ground what we need to do. Now, that wasn't part of my presentation, but it's not a full answer, but we gotta use our assets in our community and what makes us survive. We've been resilient this long and surviving, and some of us thriving, right, for a reason. So why not apply that now in our organizing, apply that and also in terms of what it looks like in terms of policy when it comes to the state level. I'm gonna be honest. Right now, Governor Hochul has, in her State of the State that's gonna come up, there's nothing that's gonna be discussed about HIV. Do you think that's wrong?
Yeah.
So why is it so important to bring this in the forefront? Because we are with other communities trying to survive and try to do things. This is not a fight between another community. This is about that there are things that they can do across the board that can help many people at once. And so we need to try to do it. And I know our State Department of Health and our others are thinking about this, but they can't do it alone because they have a state partner. And we don't have control of every little thing when it comes to the state. We don't know, but she didn't do it last week either. So it has nothing to do with the federal stuff. It has to do with perhaps how people put priorities. And we're going to have to force that. As an organizer, we force priorities when it comes to people, particularly in our residents. So I'm not going to go with this slide real quick, but it kind of tells you the percentage, right? 42% people in New York City experience food insecurity. 89% also in terms of relying on programs.
Oh shit.
80% in SNAP, right? 55% additional food services. Some of us get vouchers for food and other things, right? Those add to what we have already. And so they're gonna be gone. So let's go into where I mentioned before. This is about people and jobs. It's really very simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it. When I mean about people, right, it's the people that are being served, the people that are giving our own not-for-profit is doing the work, and then when it comes to jobs, it's all the jobs that are related to all this public health initiatives and infrastructure. Right now, the federal workforce cut and shutdown is a big fallout. 300,000 federal jobs eliminated in 2025. That's a lot. Right? Shutdown began October 1st. We're going to be probably past being, in history, the longest shutdown ever.
Sure.
Right? It's right now the third longest, but we're already at the second longest. By the month, we'll be the first one, and we continue where we are. 900,000 workers furloughed or unpaid, and some threats, right, to them that they should be completely eliminated out of those positions. We know how illegal that is, but we're not in a world where we have an administration that cares about the judiciary system and the legal system altogether, right? Doesn't mean that we don't capitalize and we don't use the judicial system to our benefit and litigation. I'm not saying that we don't use the tactics. It's just that the president in power right now, including his cronies in different federal positions, don't care, right? And they're testing our judicial system. But we need to fight it back, right? Cuts target non-defense agencies, especially health and housing. He's not cutting areas that perhaps If they wanna really talk about efficiency, there's plenty of places they can deal with efficiency, right? There's no side of this group that doesn't discuss efficiency. We as not-for-profit, DOA, we always talk about efficiencies too, and where we can be more efficient. That is not the question here. It's the politics of how they want to do that efficiency that we have to question. Right? Next slide. So, what's the biggest thing? Remember when I said how many of you rely on Medicaid to living with HIV? Medicaid, just like housing, is a critical way we end the epidemic, right? But it's also, when we lose it, it's a critical way that we go backwards from the epidemic as well. Right? And it's not just that, but Medicaid just has such a hold on everything we do, not just as people living with HIV, but so many people here living in New York. So, work requirements, effective January 1st, 2027. But we need to start now, because government is slow when it comes to trying to deal with exemptions and all that. And we're gonna have plenty of churning and people dropping the road. And I'll give you a perfect example. When the state was moving to managed care, and they were sending out, the letters to everyone, people fell to the road, right? Imagine with this, how many people fall to the road. And so we got to be creative. So even the simplest thing, making sure the letter is color coded, the envelope has a color on it, making sure there's letters from CEOs going out, making sure we put funding to not-for-profit to do the work, right? To do that kind of community work and navigation for people. We do it now, but we're gonna have to do it in a much more robust way.
How many hours are they requiring? How many hours are they requiring?
80 hours.
Yeah.
40 hours a week.
20 hours a week.
80 hours per.
Adrian, there's a nuance there, though, I forgot.
Well, there's also, there's a number of things that can fall under the category of full work requires going to school, part-time, I want to say, and community service, things of that nature, but it's still, pretty burdensome for people, who are unable to participate in these activities, just as a condition of getting these critical benefits.
The other, example I'm gonna say, which we just applied it here, CBO and DOH, information and working together. We just did this right now, and that's getting quicker reporting as we go forward as well.
Well, I'm gonna plagiarize half of these slides later. This is really, important information.
State waiver rollback,
Yes.
right, there's gonna be limits in flexibility in HIV care, including all the different state waivers. I'm not gonna go into the weeds.
Yes.
A waiver just allows for a state to be more innovative and flexible. But how innovative and flexible they want to be is questionable a lot of times, right? So we're not gonna go there, because Reed and I spent many years back dealing with that, including with Val. So,
Yes.
these have the big little bill on Medicaid. Look at it in terms of 13% or higher in terms of the enactment.
The darker the color, the higher the percentage.
Thank you. I like group work in the presentation. I'm not gonna go deep into this because we kind of said it all, and I know Adrian's gonna touch upon it even more as we move forward. So let's go to the next slide. I'm gonna double check if I get my thing right here. So these are just slides showing how important Medicaid is, not only as a primary payer of HIV treatment and prevention, but it's also in terms of how to become a source to help people navigate through the system. And so primary care is critically important, right? Us as Housing Works, we have 6 primary care clinics, right? We had to start thinking about decisions, how we do continue that care.
Right.
With the other several hundred of other qualified health centers. Like, for example, and let's think about this. Medicaid, those are primary for hospitals as well, right? So if hospitals are forced to reduce services, forced to close, particularly in rural areas, where when you throw a rock and you can't find nothing else, right? And I'm not being facetious about way distance is in rural areas. Who do you think takes it on? And then we have, I'm gonna be very political about this, hospitals who are making decisions about even transcare and other care based on custom decisions that we don't like. But guess, with the other safety net, we'll get that spillover. Those small community health centers across the state. If a hospital is the anchor and they do something, it spills over to us. And we've seen already too many hospital closures in this year, right? And we expect more, unfortunately, but the question is, how do we make that infrastructure? How do we work with the safety net? That's a whole different topic. That could take a whole day conversation as well. Next. So,
Anthony,
yes.
look up.
You're in time, I'm going to our presentation, so our councilwoman here, Alexa Aviles. And once I finish this, I'm gonna transition to Adrian, so you can have a good opportunity to get some good information and data, Alexa, that I hope you take back to the council. I'm just going over cut. And someone share with her one of the,
I will.
No, hold on. I think they have a lunch now.
yeah, we'll get to that. Our people like to take care of each other, that's a beautiful thing, right? That's kind of the reason why we're here, we're gonna take care of each other. So I'm gonna skip this slide, because, I wanna move faster in terms of our presenting. When it comes to the ACA, Medicaid, the essential plan, 800,000 New Yorkers will lose coverage. That's the estimate. I believe will be more. Right? I also believe that right now the state has been deciding how they're gonna deal with eligibility, right? And they're already reducing the level of poverty level in terms of eligibility. So we're gonna have a lot of people off the road going into another system, right? Another system that we decided a long time ago we were gonna change at the state level because we want to get people in the essential plan. And now that's starting to fall apart, right? Again, because we're gonna need a lot of on-the-ground education and outreach. And so we reduce, the amount of people uninsured in New York drastically. Doesn't mean that we don't have a high percentage still, but there was a time when in New York and other states, I don't know if Adrian knows, we used to have the helping the uninsured when they were really bad. And we would have to tell stories, we'll go out, we'll tell data. We don't do them no more, partially because we thought we hit